All right. I have a welcome box, wonder box today. And in this wonder box, I have a blanket. It has a little stain on it. It's coffee from this morning. It's fine. We're all doing great. It actually was Veronica's coffee this time, but usually it would be mine. So I have this blanket. And what I'm going to ask is to think about how many people could be covered or kept warm by this blanket. I'm going to stand here and make sure everybody can see it. And then I'm just going to nonchalantly look around the room and say, does anybody have any idea of how we could keep more people warm with this blanket? Eugene, nonchalantly looking around the room, does anyone have any idea how we could keep more people warm with this? Oh, I have one. You have one. Come on up. Let's see what we can do together. What would we do here?
We could tie them.
Oh, we could tie them together and we could use your blanket that wouldn't keep that many people warm and my blanket that wouldn't keep that many people warm.
To keep more people warm.
It will keep more people warm. Yeah, see, now we're getting somewhere. Let's stay far away from that fire. And, okay, does anybody have any other ideas? Oh, Jade's over here, coincidentally. Okay, Jade. Let's see, why don't we tie yours in here? Can I have the corner? Okay, Jade's got this one. We're gonna tie that here, and then maybe Veronica could tie in here. Does anybody else have any resources to help people? Oh, Jasmine coincidentally has one. I think we're doing great. We only practiced this downstairs once. We ended up with a square downstairs.
I am watching
Hey
you.
Jade, can you hold one of the corners here? Here you go. We're starting to get something like well, at least like a rectangle. We have a rectangle up here.
Kind of.
Yeah, we'd be able to keep a lot more people warm with this because we pooled our resources. We'd be able to cover a lot more people. Okay, away from the fire. Very important.
Yep, we don't want this thing going.
I mean, that would.
Yeah, we don't.
No,
Yeah, we don't.
That's a temporary solution. We're looking for long-term solutions. Okay. Why don't you take that and walk that way and let's see how big it is.
It's pretty big.
It's pretty big. Okay. Let's see how big you got it. Jake, can you help spread it out a little? Oh yeah, we could cover a lot of people with this. We could at least hammock a few people. All right.
It looks more like a. It's more like a hammock.
It's a hammock, it's a cave.
It looks like a wall.
Okay, let's take this back over there and then I'm gonna read you a story that relates to this. Thanks, team. All right. Watch out for the cords that we didn't have time to touch. All right. I have a little story too. It's called How Brigit Got Lands for the Poor. It's a Celtic pagan story from Ireland, told by Erica Helm Mead in her book of wisdom tales, The Moon and the Well. And it was published in 2019 in the UUA Leave a Tapestry of Faith publication. Long ago in Ireland, a few wealthy landowners owned great tracts of farming land, while the peasants were forced up into the rocky hills to eke out a living from the sparse soil. One year, the crops went bad. The poor peasants could barely scrape together an onion or a carrot for their supper. Brigit went to one of the richest landholders and said, "The harvest is grim this year, and the peasants need your help." The landholder replied, "Ah, Brigit, I'll think on it. But in truth, if the people would only work harder, they surely would fend for themselves." A few weeks passed. The situation grew worse. Brigit again went to the landholder and said, "The peasants have no food. They've taken to the hills to eat shamrocks and grass. What will you do for them?" "Now, Brigit," said the landholder, "why is it that you're up here talking to me when you should be talking to the peasants about what they can do for themselves? I have no time for this. Now be gone with you." Another week passed, and the situation became grave. Brigit went again to the landholder. In a rage, she cried, "You've done nothing to help, and now our people are starving. I demand you give land to the poor." "Well, Brigit," said the landholder, "it couldn't be that bad. 'Tis a fine wool cloak you're wearing on your back. Let it not be said I'm stingy. Here's what we'll do. You go out into the plain, choose any spot, spread your white cloak on the ground in the farmland. Its covers I'll donate to the poor." "Tax-free," said Brigit. "All right, tax-free," said the landholder, "but don't ask for anything more." So that day, Brigit and 3 of her sisters went out to the center of the fertile plain. Each took hold of a corner of the white cloak. Brigit said, "All right now, pull it taut." They did so, and then Brigit cried, "Now take a step backward." Each of them took a step back, one to the north, one to the south, one to the east, and one to the west, and as they did, the cloak expanded. Then Brigit cried, "All right, keep rocking." They did, and the cloak continued to expand until it covered the whole expanse of the plain. That afternoon, the landholder went up to the tower to look out and survey the lands. At first glance, it looked as if the snow had fallen. "The cloak," the landowner whispered, quite in awe. A great mysterious power was at work. Seeing Brigit standing in the walkway, the landlord leaned down out the window and cried, "Mercy, Brigit, I'll keep my word. The whole of the plain now belongs to the people, and I'll throw in 100 bags of oat seed that they might prosper by it." "That's fine for tomorrow," said Brigit, "but what will you do for today?" "For today," said the landholder, "why, a feast for all, a feast for today." "What sort of feast?" asked Brigit. She's negotiating. "Why, a feast of stews and roasts and compotes and mashes and stuffings and jellies and cakes," replied the landholder. "And bags to take home?" asked Brigit. "Well, of course," assured the landholder. "Very well then," said Brigit, "I'll spread the word." "Aye, Brigit, I'm sure you will. And I don't mind saying that if you spread the word as efficiently as you have spread this cloak, not a soul will miss this feast." And that is the story of how Brigit got lands to the poor, a Celtic pagan story from Ireland. Thank you, Vincent.